What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome to Leafs Digest. If you haven't already, check out our channel. Last night I posted a video after the game, kind of broke down if Josh Ho-Sang deserves a contract with this team. My opinion, I said yes. Goody, I'm not sure what your opinion on is. We can get into that, but it was announced today that the Toronto Maple Leafs have signed Josh Ho-Sang to just a one-way deal to the Toronto Marlies. Did get his AHL contract. Good for him. He did show out well in camp, I thought. I think we're probably on the same page in terms of he was just a guy who deserved to be playing pro hockey back in North America again. But on top of that, I do want to shout out, if you have not already and you've been checking out our channel, if you like our videos, if you're watching this video right now and you do not already subscribe to the Leafs Digest channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. And if you're not the type of person to jump in there and hit subscribe right now, that's fine by me. Wait till the end of the video, and on your way out, like this video, throw comments if you've got to, but most importantly, the most important thing you can do here is hit subscribe, because Josh and I are on the road to 1,000 subscribers right now. We are absolutely trucking along. Man. Yeah, we are pushing along right now. It's exciting things. We're working our way up to there. Try to get there before the regular season if we can. So Leafs fans, if you're out there, you're following this channel, you just haven't had the courage to hit subscribe yet, now is your time. Now is your calling. Road to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Help us get there before the start of the regular season. Enough pumping our own tires here, trying to get you guys to subscribe to this channel. Let's hop into tonight's game. Leafs beat the Habs in preseason action 6-2. Goals from Nick Ritchie, Potts 2 of them, Ilya Mikheyev, Brennan Menel, Semyon Argentintsev, who from this point on I will strictly refer to as SDA because I do not want to completely butcher his name every time, and Brett Seney. Josh, right away here, what are your main takeaways from this game? How did you feel watching this Leafs team out there tonight?
Dominant win. Nick Ritchie was the most exciting part for me.
Yeah,
I mean, we dominated them with puck possession, and the shots on net were great. It was a pretty vacant night there from Razik, but he was solid when he needed to be. I mean, the goal save percentage won't look really that nice tonight, but at the same time, you know, it's a pretty cold game for him. Didn't get a lot of regular looks, and I credit the Leafs defense. I'd rather see that development. And Nick Ritchie just looks ready. I mean, everyone's been asking some fair questions about him. Really, is this a top line guy? But we're already loading up that top line with talent, so we shouldn't need a $4 million winger to go sit up there with them. Nick Ritchie's going to do the job nicely, and you can see that tonight. He had a power play goal, and he got another goal just by going to where Marner's going to find him. I love seeing that chemistry develop early.
I think that's one of the most important things from what we saw of Nick Ritchie's goals tonight, because, I mean, he's not going to score a goal every game, and it's probably going to be pretty rare that he actually ends up having multi-goal games throughout this season. I mean, he's not the type of guy to put up ridiculous scoring numbers, but he does pot 2 tonight, and both occasions he's a net front guy. 2 different even scenarios there where you can kind of see the versatility even just within the small dynamic game of net front presence. The first one, he just has the mental awareness, the offensive awareness to get to the right place on the ice, have his head up, looking for Marner, knows where Marner's going to be, knows where Marner is coming from, and also knows that Marner is a guy who is probably going to be able to find you even when he's not looking. Nick Ritchie just goes to the front of the net, finds himself wide open, and has the goal-scoring ability, that touch, to be able to put the puck in the back of the net there. Second goal, it's a little bit further away, but he kind of just gets that puck high slot. That's kind of where he's going to be, and just banging away, looking for pucks from there, and just buries one past the goaltender. That's the kind of stuff you're looking for from a guy like Nick Ritchie, especially if he ends up playing on a line with Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews.
I liked his instincts a lot. He looked really sharp out there. Looks like he can play up with the talents. So these are all good signs, and power forwards take a little bit longer to develop. He's 26 years old. So I feel like we could just be seeing him peak right now. And then when you give him those guys to play with, I don't know. I think it'll be a great year for Ritchie. I also like Bunting as well coming in. I think he'll get a lot of goals, but the topic of tonight, definitely Ritchie. And just, you know, if you're going to have a big body in your lineup like that, typically him being able to sprinkle in the actual good skill plays is so, it'll elevate his stock completely. And he deserves to be on the first line, in my opinion, right now.
One thing that you did kind of open up with when you started talking about the game was dominant win. That was kind of the first thing that you started with. And I completely agree with you, but from my perspective, and I want to know kind of where you sit on this, but throughout this preseason, maybe I'm just a little delusional because of the lack thereof from what we've seen from this Leafs team in years past, and maybe it's just a little bit better tonight, and maybe it's a little bit better throughout this preseason, and it's not necessarily jumping off the page for anyone else, but does this Leafs team not look tougher and a little more, I don't know the right word, I guess energized? Like, they have guys going in, even as SDA is going in the corners, as small, not the biggest guy, and he's hitting guys. You're not throwing guys through the glass. You're not running guys over and killing them, but you're going into the corner and making sure the guy knows there's pressure on you. There's pressure coming. I'm on your butt. I'm coming behind you, and it doesn't matter whether that puck's gone because I'm going to finish my check, and you're at least going to feel me have some presence on you at some point. And it seems like the entire team trying out, guys with solidified spots, guys on the bubble here, everyone has kind of brought that intensity through this preseason, in my opinion.
SDA did get stood up in the neutral zone.
Oh, yeah, he did. He really did. He was kind of standing still. It was a weird play. He was moving through the neutral zone and then just stopped almost and just got rocked. But like, he got stopped. Smoked. Yeah, he did.
But hey, otherwise, I did see exactly what you're seeing right now. And I honestly think guys on the bubble, they always tend to bring that physical edge, that hustle. But what's really impressed me, and you mentioned it there, the guys we've already had on the roster really coming towards a tougher brand of hockey, not being as scared. I know it's really discreet things you're talking about here, but I've picked up on it as well. There seems to be a collective confidence, not really worrying about guys taking runs at people. We kind of just go to the next play and really trust that we have each other's back, or at least that's the way it looks to be right now. I've noticed what you're saying, especially on the guys who are coming back to the team this year. Like Willie doesn't look scared at all out there.
No.
Like he's gotten a little bit of body out there, and he just doesn't really let it affect his game. He just keeps skating, doesn't get tentative. I've noticed it on really all the returning forwards, so that's really good to see.
Just to briefly touch on him before we get into William Nylander, because I do want to talk about him tonight and what we've seen from him through the preseason. One thing I think is important to note, especially as Leafs fans here, is that when the word tougher gets thrown around and when Josh uses that word tougher there, we're not talking about guys that are going to be fighting 3 times every period and like going to the box black and blue and bleeding all over the ice and stuff. That's not what tough is in the NHL today. That time of toughness of Colton Orr and Fraser McLaren is not in the NHL anymore. Toughness at this point is you get hit and it takes you half a second less to get back up because you're not laying there on the ice sprawling around looking for a call. You're just back into the play. Or as I mentioned, going into the corner and just bumping into a guy. You don't got to kill him. Just bumping into the guy. Make that presence felt. Net front scrums. Standing up for your goaltender. That's the type of toughness that's required in the NHL now to have success.
I feel like a player like Bergeron almost, where it's just so much grit. You're not afraid of a whole lot. I mean, I picked really just like the top-notch guy to mention there, but players that find the bottom line in a game and they do it. They don't let anything take them off their game, and we're starting to see that collective confidence come up. And I think the experience obviously is just the solidifying block of it all. But I also feel like we've said this about pretty much every Leafs team since Austin Matthews has arrived.
Yeah,
you know, we've always said, okay, they're tougher this year. They're tougher this year. Last year, I thought they were really tough on paper.
I do genuinely believe, though, that they have gotten tougher each year.
I do, too, but it's just funny that
it's something we pick out.
We don't even have like a full like Matt Martin goon on the team anymore.
Yeah.
On the team anymore. I mean, we do have Wayne Simmons, but I think Wayne's kind of underrated in his ability to affect the game still.
Yes.
So there's that. But yeah, collective toughness is definitely up at the moment. I just find it funny that, you know, every year we've gotten a little closer, but hopefully
we're a little bit tougher. We're a little bit tougher.
A little bit. Maybe we'll get some tilts out there, but you're right. That's not what it's about. It's about just the ability to play through it and to set the tone of the game.
Yeah. And then the one guy that I did say I wanted to talk about, William Nylander. What are your thoughts on him throughout this preseason? Because we were really high on him coming out of the playoffs. Loved the way he played. Loved the way he elevated his game. It was a big thing for us to say throughout this offseason. Every time we brought his name up, it was like, what can William Nylander build off of from this past season to bring into next year? Because he had a great regular season and he transferred it over into the playoffs and played incredibly, probably our best player throughout the playoffs, if we're being totally honest. And then
I'd say so.
We just needed to see him have either a continuation of the playoffs or a step up from those playoffs. How do you think his game's progressed since at least the playoffs of last year? Do you think he's gotten better?
Oh, I think he's just like day and night. I mean, not from the playoffs. From the playoffs, he just stayed right on that track.
Yeah.
And I think he's just going to build on the confidence day and night from the player that we kind of once thought he would turn into. He deserves that $6.9 million contract.
Oh, every
AAV.
penny of it, I believe.
Oh my
Every
God.
penny of
That's
it.
a steal contract right now. And
Yeah.
I think Willie could go for 40 rips this season. I don't think it's overly likely, but I think that the fact that we're sitting here saying it could really happen is a testament to how far his game's come and how much confidence the Leafs are going to have in him.
I 100% agree with you. I honestly do. I think that he's the kind of guy who's shown that each year, and he hasn't put it up statistically, but he's shown each year he's the guy who could be a consistent 30-goal scorer. You look at William Nylander, you say, oh, that guy's a 30-goal scorer. Maybe some years he has 27, 28, 29, and some years he puts up 30 to 35. Looking at him right now, looking at what he did in the playoffs, there's no doubt in my mind. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I think it's not unrealistic to say this guy could score 40 this year, just like you said. It's really not unrealistic. And it's far away from just, oh, this guy looks like a better goal scorer out there. He just looks like a better hockey player. He looks like a guy who's stronger and just more mentally aware and more committed to the defense, the back check, playing physical, taking hits. Like, he just looks like he's really buying into being better at hockey.
100%. And I think the only way that he doesn't get to 40 goals is if he takes on a facilitator role, because at this moment in time, I mean, obviously he'll be scoring throughout the season, but yeah. I'm debating whether or not he looks sharper as a goal threat or as a setup man right now, because every facet of his game has just gone way up and you can only get in on so many goals. So at a certain point, maybe Willie will just have too many assists to be scoring that many goals. But to the same note, it could still be 40. He's got that kind of upside to him now.
Yeah, 100%. And even if it's not 40, it could be 35 plus, right? Like, it could be anywhere in that range. And if you're grabbing 35 plus from a guy who's $6.9 million and is playing like that all over the rest of the ice, I will take that every single day of the week. Now, one guy who did get himself on the board tonight, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this because
I was about to bring this up, man. I was about to bring it up.
You have been so set on feeling one way about him. And I kind of touched on it a little bit last night, more in terms of it got brought up just because of Pierre Engvall. I ended up heading down this weird route of like, does Ilya Mikheyev deserve to continue to be in this lineup? Like, if he's bringing similar things to Engvall, I don't see Engvall deserving a spot in this lineup anymore. I kind of think he should be put on waivers. I think there's other guys ahead of Engvall that should be playing. Does Mikheyev do much more? I just got into this weird debate of it. I didn't get to hear from you last night. He does get himself on the board tonight. Is this the monkey off the back, or is this a flash in the pan? How do you feel about Mikheyev scoring a goal tonight?
It's something, but what's going on over there is internal. He had a great game. Really did. And I thought he was holding on to the puck more than he normally does. He looked better in that regard, because that's one of the things that's aggravated me the most about Mikheyev is he's got great speed. And maybe the list is a little bit shorter than I thought. He can finish sometimes. The hockey sense isn't great. But tonight he looked like he wanted the puck. And that's kind of a rarity when I'm looking at Mikheyev. His puck possession's been kind of something that's pissed me off a lot in the past while with the Leafs. So to see him turn that around and get a goal where he actually shoots the puck versus tucking it on a breakaway or off the pad or whatever. He actually shot the puck. Yeah. Maybe it still wasn't that much of a goal scorer's goal, but hey, he ripped it in and everything counts. I really was happy with Mikheyev tonight. I don't see it as a full monkey off the back, because when I say it's internal, it's not about how we feel about Mikheyev. Clearly it's about how he feels about us now, which has kind of made me reciprocate this feeling of, you don't feel like we have enough to offer you here. You feel like we're the reason that you didn't score as many goals as you could have. Yeah. It's been aggravating, and I feel like projection. I've been over it with Mikheyev, but if he can use this to turn around his own outlook on the team, then perfect. But that's the only standpoint I see it from.
Yeah, I don't know if it's full monkey off the back either. Kind of on the same page as you on that one. I think that this, though, is a good opportunity for him to be like, okay, you know in golf when sometimes you're just not playing that well and it's like you've got a 2-inch putt to the hole and you're like, I just need to see the ball go in right now. So you just tap it in just for that. That feels good. Okay, whatever.
I never play well, but
fair enough. But even when that happens, you're still kind of like, you go to hit the 4-foot putt the next time and you're like, I don't know. You don't have the confidence. I kind of translate that to like Mikheyev bearing those like rebounders, backdoor ones is kind of like, okay, that feels good. And like, maybe I can score, but like having the ability to score off of a shot and stepping away from the net and being like, okay, there's like an actual little bit more of production. Maybe it can give him that little bit of confidence to, even if he doesn't start in the top 6 here, start on the third line and, dude, go out there and earn your ice time. Score 10 goals in the first half of the season and force your way onto the top line. That's the only way you're going to, or the top 2 lines. It's the only way you're going to find your way into there. So, again, I don't think he's going to go and score every game after this point on, but I think that that's just that little bit more confidence boost of like, not only did the puck go in off of me, the puck went in because of me.
Exactly. And previously, it's just felt like too much of right place, right time, whether that's him getting himself into position with speed or having good line mates. This was something he did himself, and the puck possession makes me feel a lot better about his overall game going into the season this year for sure. And on that note, though, what do we consider a good goal season for Mikheyev, where we can look at him again as the player that we felt we wanted him to be? On the post-game show, I think it was, or maybe a little bit before then, going into the third, some of the guys on the hockey panel were saying 15 goals. I tend to side with that number as well. If he can get 15 playing on a second or third line, that's pretty good.
Pretty comfortable with that as well. I agree. One thing I did notice tonight, in last video that I did after last night's game, I did say that in these preseason games, it's hard to evaluate the team as a whole, the systems, everything they're doing. You can't necessarily break it down because things are changing so much. But one thing we did see tonight was that most of Powerplay 1's unit was all together, and we did get to see a new role from Mitch Marner on that powerplay as him in the bumper spot. Personally, I love this. When you think about that puck movement they had going on, the scoring threats between Nylander, Tavares down low, and even Marner becomes a scoring threat from closer shooting range, because he's not a guy who's going to rip one from the top of the circles, but from the hash marks, very likely he could score from there. So you become 3 scoring threats right away. You have Ilya Mikheyev playing in Austin Matthews' spot, who we just touched on is not a guy who's going to score goals. He's not our man who's winning the Rocket Richard trophy, who's barreling down that side and picking corners. And then even Morgan Rielly has more of a willingness to shoot the puck. That power play looked very good. There was a lot of new looks that we didn't get to see last year, and not a lot of movement and a lot of chances along with shots. I really like that power play.
Yeah, the power play looked great tonight. That brings me back to thinking that John Tavares had a really strong game as well. I noticed him a ton out there, especially on the man up. And I feel like Mitch Marner getting more puck on the power play, that will result in only one thing: more offensive production for him. When Matthews is out there, you take your chances with a really talented goal scorer like that. But there are fruits and rewards to trying alternative routes when you got a roster this deep. I feel like when Matthews comes back, we should give a lot of demand to him shooting the puck again.
100%.
But having Marner show that he can be the shooter ultimately on that line in the power play, that's a big step up for him. And Marner's a guy who always, I think, snowballs his confidence. So if this leads to a big goal season for him, maybe you can give him more time with it. At least we'll get to see it early in the season when Matthews is out. But you're 100% right. The power play was clicking tonight, and it was awesome to see.
Now, we've just talked about the power play, and I know this next segment, we both kind of have the exact same opinion on this one. So let's head into our Poppy power play of the game. All right, so with tonight's Poppy power play of the day, Josh and I, we already talked about this one. We're on the exact same page. I got to hand it to Brett Seney on that disgusting down the wall, cuts across, backhand, top corner goal that he scored tonight. That is my power play of the day. That was just a disgusting goal. I don't think that's a guy who's going to make this team, probably not play in any games this season. But for him to show out that way, he showed a little bit of bite this preseason, showed some confidence, showed some energy, and for him to score a goal like that and go out, at least with his Leafs preseason experience, with a goal like that, leaving that in the minds of Leafs fans, I was really happy to see that. Just love to see the Habs go down then that way too. Like a 6-2 win from the Leafs, a nasty goal to cap it off. That's my power play of the day.
Yeah, we won't get too much revenge here in preseason. We got a long season to go ahead of us, and the Habs are going to get worse. But yeah, great goal from Brett Seney. When you say his name fast, it sounds Italian. Brett Seney, But yeah, he actually scored a sweet goal. That was awesome. Him breaking down the defense there, curling to his backhand. Sweet talk by the kid. I really love that play. That's definitely my play of the day as well.
All right, and our final thing before we sign off here, our grades of the game. So for my grade of the game, we have to keep in mind we're rating a preseason game here. Let's not jump on me in the comments. I mean, if you really don't like it, feel free. I can take it. I'll read them all. Deal with it later in a later video perhaps. But let's just keep in mind, we'll tone it down a little bit here. This is a preseason game, and for a Leafs preseason game, I'm just giving this one an A. I think, as you said, 20 shots against, great number by the defense here. It's really good to hold them to that number. Our power play looked pretty good. We did get some power play goal. We got a power play goal. We get an opportunity for Mikheyev to score a goal, gain some confidence. Nick Ritchie gets himself on the board twice. Our defense overall as a team looked good, and then our actual defensemen looked pretty strong. And then the only thing that actually turns this one down from an A+ to an A for me is Mrazek letting in 2. I don't think they were really his fault. That being said, it was kind of that one where we let in a goal to start the game, where you're kind of sitting there like in a regular season game or a playoff game, you don't want to be the team to often be giving up the first goal of the game and having to fight your way back. You score 6 tonight and you win 6-2. That's a huge victory. But that's just that one where it's like, all right, tighten up a little bit earlier. We don't want to be giving up a goal early on into the game. That'll get sorted out as regular season gets going. Regular guys get back into this lineup. But my grade of the game for tonight, A. Goody, how about you?
Hey, they should get some extra kudos for coming back, though. I'm going with the same grade.
For sure.
The goals scored were actually my only real caveat as well. I honestly, this is a sort of off topic, but just in general, reflecting on the game and some things that could have gone better, I thought Amadio really struggled tonight, personally. He was someone that kind of stood out as turning over the puck a lot, getting bodied, making poor passes. There was just like 6 different plays where I picked out Amadio is the problem there, and that's unfortunate because he had some offensive success earlier, but
Scored the game-winning goal last night.
Well, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm thinking to myself, that's a shame that he follows it up with with kind of a really just crummy performance tonight. I thought he was the only guy that stood out to me as off of his game, but overall A as well. I thought it was a really good effort by the Leafs, and pretty great to always crush the Habs like that.
Yeah, agreed. It is good to get a 6-2 win off the Habs in our last preseason game against them before we head into this regular season. But the Leafs do have one more preseason game coming up. It is against the Ottawa Senators Saturday. Oh my goodness, I can't get my words out right now. Saturday, October 9th at 7 p.m. So, Leafs fans, if you like what we're doing on here, if you like this channel, if you like the content coming to you, if you're looking for news, rumors, analysis, breakdowns of games, signings, all of that kind of stuff, trade rumors as this season gets going, underway, once Austin Matthews finally hits the ice and gets on into a game with this Toronto Maple Leafs team, make sure you hit that subscribe button on this channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Every single subscriber counts at this point. We love you guys for supporting this channel. We thank you for all of your comments, your likes, your shares, everything that you guys been doing. Keep it up. Look forward to seeing you guys after the next game, Saturday, October 9th versus the Ottawa Senators at 7 p.m. Leafs fans, thanks for your support. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys soon. Keep believing.
Signing off.